Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I have some tea here. Grab your coffee, your tea, your water, whatever. We're gonna be here for a bit, okay? Because we're gonna be talking about the new Westman Atelier Sun Tone Bronzing Drops. I got the color 1, Soleil Parfait 1, my French. I'm more than confident that my French subscribers or anybody who speaks French that follows me will leave me the phonetic pronunciation. I depend on you guys for these things. You would think, Isabel, you're a content creator, you should be looking this up before you sit down to film. If that's what you're looking for, it's not gonna be the channel for you. It's not gonna be the channel for you. I like interacting with you guys. I like learning from you. YouTube is not my full-time job. This is how we are going to do this video. I am going to apply the bronzing drops mixed with the complexion drops on one side of my face. And then on the other side of my face, I will be applying the Westman Atelier complexion stick and using these drops as how we would use a typical bronzer. Reason being is I want to show you guys A, why I purchased this and I thought was going to be great, but B, I also want to show you how this particular product works with another one of her foundations. So like I said, we're going to be here for a while. All right, first up, let's go ahead and apply the Vital drops, Vital Skincare Complexion drops. I am Atelier 2 and I'm gonna be using one of her travel brushes here. I am going to apply, I would say like one generous drop. As you start to get to the end of this bottle, the consistency of the formula becomes thicker. For those of you who are wondering, I think this, if this is not part of my empties for February, it's definitely gonna be an empties for March. Atelier 2 is a little too light for me. One of my besties, Lily, got me the color Atelier 3, and that's a little bit more suitable for my skin tone. Hence where these bronzing drops come in. Same packaging. As you can see, you do have to shake before use. When you shake it, leave it standing upright for a little bit because it will shoot out the bottle and onto the cap, and that's a hot mess. So we don't have, these are too expensive to be wasting product like that. So next, I'm going to put 2 drops of the bronzing here, and then we're just going to mix this onto the skin. 2 things this is gonna do for a complexion drop or a foundation that's a little too light for you. A, obviously it's gonna warm it up, but the second pro I find with this is that you don't have to buy your summer shade, right? So if you already have your perfect shade, then all you need to do is add the bronzing drops to get your summer shade, if that makes sense. The other thing I wanted to mention, if using this bronzer, these bronzing drops with her complexion drops, I think we all know that the complexion drops are extremely emollient, even for those of us that have dry, very dry skin. They are super emollient. Now, somebody with combination to oily skin like myself, I like the complexion drops on days where my skin is really taking a hit. For example, I film a lot of content creation, obviously, because I do YouTube and then I do shorts for you guys and then I do Instagram. So there's a lot that I have to put on and take off my skin. My skin becomes fatigued, and so the complexion drops is a good way for me to get that kind of skin perfection coverage that I want while it's nourishing my skin, because it is packed with a lot of skincare minerals. And I know that we are a divided camp when it comes to skincare and makeup. Some of us believe that that's a thing. Some of us are just like, no, it's not a thing. Skincare, makeup is makeup. I'm in the camp where I have been using these long enough to notice a huge difference using this versus using, for example, just a regular foundation that I own. Yes, I see immediately the benefits in my skin when I take it off. My skin is less red. It feels a lot more nourished. Really dumbs down any red spots I may have on my face from irritation or dry patches, anything like that. And you're like, oh, you can get that from just wearing any moisturizing foundation. No. Been there, done that. Sorry. Next up, you can see these complexion drops do provide good coverage. So I have it on this side of my face. For reference, if I were to use this without the complexion drops, it's really white. You can definitely see too much of a contrast between my neck and my face. So do keep that in mind. Another thing I wanted for you guys to understand is, because these are super emollient, when you use it in conjunction with the bronzing drops that are supposed to be like a natural matte finish, it is gonna make the complexion drops less emollient. So if you bought this and maybe you don't use it as much because it's just too emollient for your skin, and you picked up the bronzing drops, use them together. The finish is much nicer in my opinion, because I have combination to oily skin. So it's a little less emollient, and to me it makes the overall finish a lot more pleasant for my particular preference. Now, another thing you can take into consideration, besides being able to use it with your foundation, you can still continue to use this product in so many other ways. This is not sponsored. Gucci Westman did not submit any of these products, but I'm sorry, I feel like I started to sound like an infomercial there for a second. It's a good product, in case you guys are wondering. I have been using this for 3 days, but I've actually applied this 5 times because I've used it in different ways, not including what we're gonna be doing in this video. I'm now gonna apply the complexion stick to this side of the face, and in this foundation, I am Atelier 2, and I find this to be my color. I don't know why, but I feel like the complexion stick runs a little bit deeper than the complexion drops. Going in with my foundation brush from Westman, we're just going to spread that all over this side of the face, and then we're gonna go in with the bronzing drops as a typical bronzer. Okay, I've blended that out. I'm gonna go back in with the bronzing drops. I'm using her blender brush. You can use any brush, honestly. I really like her brushes. I'm gonna use just 1 drop. That is more than enough for my cheeks. And then we are going to just use patting motions at first to distribute the product where we want it. And then I will blend everything out. But as you can see, it is a lovely tone. I like a very subtle bronze. If you want something a little more prominent, obviously go a shade up. There's only 4 shades in this. I like how neutral it is. It doesn't make me look orange, which I think for all of us is a huge issue with most bronzers. They can tend to be orangey. But overall, because Gucci Westman is a makeup artist, She does undertones very well, and I think that in her line, if you want cooler toned lipsticks, blushes, contour sticks, bronzers, the whole thing, I feel like this line offers a very good range of cool toned products. So that's how it looks blended out and onto the cheek. And I find that although this is a soft matte or a hydrating matte, it will leave your skin slightly tacky regardless of whether you use moisturizer or not as part of your skincare when applying these drops. You are not gonna get a true matte feeling. For those of us with combination to oily skin, you know what we're talking about. We do love ourselves a nice, good, smooth matte finish. You know, obviously that doesn't make us look dry because we have combination to oily skin, but somebody who has very dry skin stays away from those kind of matte products because it does make their skin look crepey and dry. When she created this product, of course, she wanted to cater to those of you with very dry skin and those of you with combination to oily skin. Like, she was trying to tap into all the markets. With that said, although this leaves your skin a little tacky, you know, your hair is not going to stick to your skin the way that it would if you used the Complexion drops on their own. And on the skin, it will look like a very soft, smooth, matte finish, which to me, I feel is the biggest confusion to my brain, because when I look at it, as you can see, it's dried down over here. It has that matte, smooth finish, but when I touch it, it has that slight tackiness. So if you are not a fan of any kind of tackiness on your skin, this is not going to be a product for you. I'm going to get my nails situation out of the way because I do get a lot of newcomers. I did my nails and I did not clean them up. That is done when I have time. And usually Saturdays are my only days to film. And so I try to get all my content up for you guys as quickly as possible. And so if they look a little messy, it's just because I just painted them. It's nail day, okay? Try painting your nails when you have your toddler around. It's not gonna happen. It's just not. It's just not. So I paint them today, and then I'll clean them up once I'm like editing the videos and I have time. So anyways, now let's go ahead and apply some blush. So on this side of my face, I'm gonna apply a little bit of Pot de Peony. This was a fairly new release from last year, and it goes hand in hand with this lilac trend we're seeing. It's a very pink blush with a blue undertone, and to me it gives me like a little lilac-y vibe. This is the super loaded tinted highlight. Although it's a highlighter, I use it as a blush because this is really strong and very pigmented. I'm gonna be using my BK Beauty 109 brush to apply this, and this gives a beautiful finish to the skin. I am not somebody who typically enjoys luminous blushes, because as somebody with combination to oily skin, I feel like it really accentuates my pores. It does not help the oily situation because everything then just looks too luminous, if you know what I mean. But this actually dries down to sort of a powder finish, and so I prefer it. For those of you who've been following me for a long time, you know I love to take my blush up to the temple. With this particular product, I don't do that because it's luminous. I don't want my temples to be luminous, and so I just keep it here in the cheek area. And because this has that luminous quality, I forego highlight when using this product as well. So that's that beautiful pink blush. I love the blue undertone in this because I feel like it really brightens my complexion, especially in the winter when, you know, I'm looking pale as snow because I haven't gotten any sun and I need a little pick-me-up. I think it's the perfect, you know, winter girl look. You can also bring it over the bridge of your nose if you want to, but I normally just leave it in this section on my little blender brush here, and I'm going to tap that in this area because like I said, I don't typically run that over my nose. I really just like to concentrate it in the cheek area. Now on the other side, I'm gonna apply a little bit of Bichette, and this is just a mini version of her baby cheeks. I actually picked up this color during a Nordstrom anniversary sale, and this is another fall winter shade that I really like to use. I find this to be a little bit too deep for my particular skin tone, and I also use this as lipstick. So it's not a product that I will probably be repurchasing using my IT Cosmetics foundation brush. Look how cool this is. It's another one of their snow globe. This is a limited edition brush, came out like ages ago. I think I got 4 years ago during breast cancer month. So I just blend this out. This, I feel, because it's too deep for my skin, I think that this will look a little better on me during the summer when I'm a lot deeper. But when I use this, because it's too deep on me, I feel like it really accentuates how pale my skin actually is. So this one I do like to bring up to the bridge of my nose and onto my temples because it doesn't have a luminous finish. But yes, it's a little too deep for me, and I find that especially, I see it more when I'm filming and using this color. It just, that contrast, it just makes me look a lot paler than I am, or maybe it brings out exactly how pale I am. On this side, I am gonna go in with some highlighter, and this is in the color Brulee. Another color I really like to use in the summer when I'm deeper, but I actually found that with Bichette, it makes a beautiful combination, hence helping me look a little less pale than I actually am. And this little mini I also picked up during a Nordstrom anniversary sale. It came as a duo with Nectar. You guys remember that? I just tapped this in with my finger, and I just feel like it does have a nice combination with Bichette. Just realized I never swatched Pot de Peony for you guys, and I know you guys really like to see swatches. So there we have all 3 shades. On my eyes, I'm gonna be using her matte trio here because I want a very unseemingly eye look right now. I need it to be very basic because it needs to match with both sides. Going in with Vanille, and I am using her Shadow 2 brush, just swirling that in there and applying that all over the eye on both sides. Going in with her Shadow 1 brush with a touch of beige. If you're wondering, I know I have to say this again because I have newcomers. I have to state why mine looks extra emollient. Don't make the mistake of getting any kind of moisture, not even half a drop of water, or any kind of moisture on your brush and dipping it into the eye pods, because, well, her matte ones, I'm assuming that the other ones would have the same problem if that happened. While I was filming for you guys one day, I had, I guess, a little bit of moisture on my brush, and I dipped it in there and it's always remained like it looks wet. It has not, however, compromised the performance of the shadow or the product. It does stay intact, and so there you go. That's why it looks that way. So I just went in with a touch of beige just to give the crease a little bit of dimension, and then now I'm gonna go in with a touch of mink onto my eyes. You guys remember mink from that limited edition holiday collection? That holiday trio, you guys remember this little sucker? Take it out, use it, use what you have. I'm gonna go in with the same brush and I'm just going to put it across my eyelid. Next, we are going to line the upper lash line with her eyeliner, which is fantastic, and this is the brown shade. I only do the outer corners because I prefer a more subtle eyeliner. Then we're gonna go in with a little bit of her brow pencil in the color in the color Clay. And just to give the eyebrows a little bit of life. I'm gonna be doing a review on this pencil really soon because this is my second one. I have thoughts. Gonna go in with the spoolie that's on the other end of this brow situation, and we are gonna tame these suckers. But I'm also gonna go in with my Merit brow gel in the color light brown, and we are going to give it a little bit more oomph. And then let's go in with some of my Merit mascara, and I'm gonna apply that to the top lashes. For lips, we are gonna go in with Girev. And those of you who don't know, there's a mirror on the cap. Such a gorgeous color. No wonder it's a bestseller. It goes with everything. Okay, see, I needed a lip color that was gonna go with both sides. Let's talk my overall thoughts on the bronzing drops. You can use this alone. You are not going to get the same amount of coverage you would get with any of her foundations because it's not a foundation. But if you want to wear this alone because you have very little skin concerns, you don't have like a lot of, you know, acne scars or discoloration or anything like that, and you just want to wear this alone to look like you just went to the beach, this is gonna look lovely, lovely. I have a little bit of, depending on what, you know, time of the year it is, I tend to have a little bit more acne scars here and there, and I would not like to wear this alone because for all the obvious reasons, I need a little bit more coverage or whatnot. But I will say, if you guys have her concealer, and I can only attest to her concealer because I have only had this long enough to use it with her products. I have not used these bronzing drops with other makeup products, like other brands is what I'm trying to say. So if you have her concealer, you can actually just conceal whatever you want and then go in with this. You can also, you know, do that. And again, only if you have very little skin concerns. You get what I'm saying? I personally would not be able to use this over acne scars and then go in with this. Like my acne scars are not like, you know, tiny, small, minimal, barely there blemishes. They're there to shine when they arrive. They like to make a statement when they walk in. I think this is such a beautiful product, and I am hoping that this is a foreshadowing of giving us the complexion drops we've all wanted, but in a soft matte finish, because this is a little much for me. Or maybe it's a foreshadowing of a brand new foundation formula altogether, but with this finish. I think this was executed beautifully. I love that the actual color of the product is completely different from anything in the line. Most of the line looks like this, very monotone, very light pinks, light beige, whites, the whole thing. I'm really happy that we got something with some spark, some color. It makes it a lot easier to find in your makeup bag. You'll know exactly what it is the moment you look in there. So I do love that, especially because she chose to keep the same packaging as the complexion drops. So had this been very similar in color, that would have been really annoying to, you know, find and confuse in a hurry when you're doing your makeup on the go. And there would have been nothing worse than to confuse a vital complexion product while you're on the go, okay? Because we got very little options of fixing if we make that kind of mistake while we're on the go, away from the house, not near a sink and soap and water. Been there, done that. I think this was executed beautifully. I think they are also very pigmented. I don't think that I would be able to get away with using shade 2. I think that would be way too deep for me. However, like I mentioned before, if you are somebody who likes a deeper bronzing situation, if you're somebody that's in between the complexion scale, like you fall in between that light medium, then you can probably get away with going up a shade or using a deeper shade. I did not even show you guys the packaging, but basically this is what it looks like. And you have that beautiful Westman Atelier heart detail there, but you can see that there's a little bit of a mess in my cap. However, I cleaned it up. I shoved tissues in there when this shot out on more than one occasion, when I shook it and decided to open it like a normal consumer would. Save yourself. Okay, just shake it and just leave it upright for a couple of seconds, allowing that product to come back down before you open this, okay? I think it was done very well. By the way, fragrance of the day. I don't know if you guys are gonna like this. Let me know if you want me to incorporate like fragrance of the day when I'm filming for you guys. I would love to do that for you. I'm wearing Chanel, number 1, the Chanel. This is available, I got mine at Ulta. But this came out when they came out with that skincare line. It's a lovely, lovely fragrance. However, you're not gonna get the same longevity out of this than you would their other fragrances, because this is more a fragrance that is supposed to be as a light, like kind of like their version of like what will be a body splash, right? It's supposed to be worn like maybe after a shower or before bed. It's a lot softer, so you're not gonna get that longevity out of it. However, the fragrance smells very fresh, very clean, and very soft. It has a very soothing scent, and if you don't know what it smells like, it literally smells like the number 1 skincare line. I personally love it. Obviously, I'm like halfway through this bottle, as you can see. Another very well executed product by Chanel. But overall thoughts, I love this product. Probably gonna be a repurchase, depending on whether or not this is gonna work well with other products, because I think we can all agree that none of us exclusively use one brand. I think there's very few of us that use literally every product from the same brand. So this has to play well with other brands. If it doesn't, and I can only exclusively use it with my Westman Atelier products, then I'm probably not gonna be repurchasing this. I'll probably just stick to using the Complexion stick. And while we're here, of course, I'm gonna swatch this for you to show you the finish on the back of my hand, and I wanna compare it to the contour stick because that's a lot of questions, you know, I get asked, is how does that compare to the contour? So you can see that it's a liquidy formula. It's gonna run down my hand. And when you blend it in a little bit, you can see it does have emollients. But now I'm gonna blend it out because I want you guys to see the dry down on this. It's very, you know, it's very strange to the eye because when you look at it, you're like, oh, that's a velvety, like matte finish. But then when you touch it, it's tacky and it is hydrating. So, like I said, she did a really good job. This must have taken a really long time for her to develop. I'm gonna swatch the contour stick while that's setting down on the other side so that you guys can see the difference in tone. A contour stick is gonna be much cooler in tone. It is not the same thing as a bronzer. It's to carve out your face and uplift your cheekbones if that's the kind of look you're going for. So it's gonna be a lot cooler in nature. A bronzer is to bronze up the complexion, give you a little bit of warmth. So it's gonna be much warmer than cooler in tone. So as you can see, here is the contour stick. And by the way, this is in the color Biscuit. And this is the bronzing drops. So you can see that as it has set down, it's not shiny. It has a very soft matte situation, but it is slightly tacky. However, I do know there are people who really cannot stand that sensation on their skin. So that's why I like to mention it. As far as smell is concerned, I don't find these to have any kind of scent compared to our Complexion drops. Our Complexion drops, you know, they have a little scent. So they don't have any kind of scent, which is lovely because I'm not a particular fan of the scent of the Complexion drops. And I'm gonna tell you something that I hope doesn't ruin it for you guys, but my husband mentioned this to me on several occasions, and it's like one of those things that once you see it, you can't unsee it. And once my brain registered where that smell was very familiar from, I can never unsee it now. I was putting this in the car one day, and yesterday, again, I was testing it out in a different way for you guys. And he goes, that smells like you're frying tostones. For those of you who don't know what tostones are, basically it's a green plantain that we mash it like you would a smash burger, making it into a disc, and then we fry that, okay? He wasn't wrong. This is what this smells like. It smells like tostones. And I don't want to smell like tostones. I don't want my face to smell like tostones. So I'm really hoping that in the future, these can somehow become unscented, just like the bronzing drops. I have hope because again, I like this product and I continue to wear it because of the way it makes my skin look. When I take this off, I feel like my skin is somehow brighter. It looks a little healthier. So I've been using it for about 1.5 years, 2 years now, and I can attest to whatever skincare benefits are in here. At least my skin agrees with it. All right, you guys, I tried to make this as short and sweet as possible, but we had a lot to go over here, okay? Leave me your questions and comments down below. I'm gonna be uploading shorts soon, comparing this to the powder version of her bronzer and the contour stick. I know you guys are gonna wanna see that. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate your time. Leave me feedback. Let me know if you picked these up, if you've tried them, how you like using them, because a lot of people also go into the comments to read your feedback before purchasing as well. So I feel like as a community, we can learn from each other. So let me know how you guys prefer wearing this. I personally prefer wearing this in conjunction with my foundation because I'm in the winter season. So I feel like I already look so pale that I love to incorporate this just all over my face and then going over it with like a foundation. Or if I have a liquid, like mixing it together and giving myself a little bit more, you know, a little bit more life, you know, like I'm looking like I'm alive versus close to death. So don't forget to subscribe. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram. That's the only other social media platform I'm active on. And I appreciate your time, you guys. As always, thank you so much for watching, and see you next time. Bye.